So in the second subtask of the digital clock and countdown timer project, we are going to be working on the digital clock function, where basically we have to review this syntax and paste it in the digital clock function and make sure the program updates it every 1 second. So let's see how this code works. So similar to previous code, first we're going to import the time module and the system module, and then again over here we're going to define the user choice input function, where based on the choice given it's going to redirect to different functions. So if the choice is 1, we're going to redirect to digital clock function, which is our main focus for this particular subtask. And then as we go to the digital clock function over here, so first we're going to write a while true loop to make sure it prints out time continuously. So first what we are going to do is we are going to store the current time in a current underscore time variable using this function time.localFrame, which has been taken from the time module which we imported over here. So after getting the current time over here, the thing is the current time we get over here isn't readable to the user. That is, it's not formatted properly. Since we need to make sure it is easily readable to the user, over here we are going to format that particular time. So basically what happens here is in this function, we are going to use this variable which contains the time from this, and then we are going to format it in this particular way, and then we are going to store this in this particular variable. Now this particular line might look a bit complicated, but it's pretty simple. %y stands for year, %m stands for month, the small letter m stands for month, and %d stands for day. So over here it's for time. Capital H stands for hour, capital M stands for minute, and capital S stands for second. And we're going to pass on this to be formatted in this way and to be stored in this variable. So after that we're going to print out this particular variable because this is the formatted time which can be easily readable by the user. And then we have given over here time.sleep 1. So what does this mean? It means it is going to ask the program to stop for 1 second before running it again, since we are in an infinite loop over here. So what if this does not exist? What if this isn't there? So then what would happen was that the program would continuously infinitely update it in 1 second, like let's say 1,000 or 10,000 times, which wouldn't look like a clock. It would look weird. So hence you have added time.sleep once, so it updates only every 1 second. So therefore it looks more and more like a clock rather than a glitchy version of continuously updating. And then we're going to define countdown timer as same as previous, because in the next subtask we'll be taking care of this. And in the main function we're going to call another infinite loop where we can take input and we're going to pass it on to this function over here. So to show you guys why time.sleep is necessary, let me just remove this line for one time and show you how it would run without this particular line. So let's say I give digital clock. So you can see how this looks, that continuously it's updating with lines and lines of code, which is not that appeasing. It doesn't look that good. So instead, let's add time.sleep and see how it works. So you can see it's updating per second and it's waiting for 1 second, after which it will be updated and printed again. Thereby it doesn't have that cluttery look which we had previously. So yeah, let's submit this and see if it passes all the test cases. So yeah, let's go to the next subtask.